All right, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Mario Machuca, and I am part of the pre-construction team at in Tilden-Coil. And I wanted to welcome everybody to our second edition of Partner Pro Tips. So we have a few short presentations to share with you in the series that we're calling Partner Pro Tips. The series can be found on our Tilden-Coil webpage, and all of the links in and content from today will be shared with you all in attendance. If there are any questions, there's a Q&A feature for you to use and to ask questions. And we will stop at each segment to answer the questions as they come through. Looks like a few people are still joining, so maybe we'll just kind of slow down just a little bit. So Partner Pro Tips, why are we doing this? We wanted to show our appreciation to you for partnering with Tilden-Coil. We wanted to find better ways to communicate with you, our contractors, to help you be informed and stay up to date. The goal in this is to strengthen our relationships, finding better ways to serve you, and just grow our partnership. As a reminder, Q&A. Go ahead and type your questions as you have them, and we'll answer them throughout the segments. So the agenda today, part of our first Partner Pro Tips suggestion was speak a little bit about skilled and trained workforce. So we're going to have Maria talk about that in a few minutes. And then I'll go through and talk about our upcoming projects. And then we're going to finish off with Daniel talking about a new and exciting project coming up for us, a feature project at Mount San Antonio College, Technology and Health. So I'm going to go ahead and get started with Maria and to talk about skilled and trained.
Hi, everyone. My name is Maria Harrigy. I am the Labor Compliance Coordinator here at Tilden-Coil. I oversee all labor compliance and the skilled and trained workforce projects. So if you are planning on bidding any of the upcoming lease-leaseback or design-build projects, you will want to pay attention so you can know what conditions that need to be met. So what is a skilled and trained workforce project? You must meet both of the following conditions below. Condition number 1, all workers performing work in an appraisable craft are a trained journey person who is a graduate from a DAS-approved program, a skilled journey person with as many hours of on-the-job training as a graduate, or a DAS-registered apprentice. Condition number 2, the monthly graduation percentage requirements. 30 to 60% of your workforce per month must include a trained journey person, which is a graduate from a DAS-approved program. I'm going to read that one more time. 30 to 60% of your workforce per month must include a trained journey person. Skilled journey persons do not count towards the percentage requirements. This is a big misconception from a lot of contractors who have their workforce that contain a lot of older employees who have been there 10, 15 years, and they always seem to think that those journey persons can count towards the percentage requirements. That is false. The only ones that can count toward the percentage requirements are your trained graduate journey persons. The graduation percentage requirements vary depending on the specific craft being performed. Within the next few slides, it's going to break down the percentage of what crafts are at 30% and what crafts are at 60%. The monthly percentage requirements can be met by counting either the head count of workers by trade or the number of workers by trade. Next slide. So on a monthly basis, skilled and trained workforce reports showing percentage totals are required to be submitted by each contractor and any of their sub-tiers to the prime contractor. These reports will detail how many trained journey persons you have on site, how many skilled journey persons you have on site, and or any registered apprentices. When you enter these percentage totals into that report, it's going to come up with a percentage whether you are over the 30% or over the 60%. If you are non-compliant for 1 month or more on a consecutive basis, your reports may be turned into the DIR and you could incur fines and penalties. So it's very important that you go into the project and you have the workforce that you need in order to be compliant. There are some exemptions to the apprenticeship graduation requirements. A contractor is not required to meet the graduation percentage requirements if both conditions apply. Condition 1, the contractor was not a listed sub at the time of bid, or if they are performing work as a substitute for a contractor that was listed. Condition 2, the contractor's contract amount does not exceed 0.5% of the prime contract. So if you're a contractor on a lease-leaseback or design-build project and you meet both of these conditions, condition 1 and 2, you are exempt from the graduation percentage requirements. However, you still must employ skilled journey persons who have on-the-job training experience. Next slide. So below is a list of the following trades who must meet the 30% workforce requirements. These trades are at 30% as of January 1st, 2020, and there is no updated graduation requirements as of today. Once those come out, they will be posted on the DIR, and if you're working on one of our projects, I will keep you informed of that. So again, the trades below must have at least 30% of their workforce be graduate from an apprenticeship program. The next slide. The following trades below must have 60% of their workforce be apprenticeship graduates. If you do not see your craft on either one of these lists, and you're working in an apprenticeable trade on one of the projects, you will follow the 60% workforce requirements. And that was a very quick overview of the skilled and trained. I don't know if anybody has any questions. If you do, you can pop them in the Q&A. And I will also have my email sent out with the mass email that will be done after the webinar. And you can email me with any questions you might have, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Thank you.
Hey, Maria, I do see a question in the Q&A there. Mario, if you wouldn't mind going to slide 5 there. The question is on item number 1, is it an or, correct? Trained or skilled?
Which one? I'm sorry.
Item number 1, where it says contractor was not listed as a sub at the time of bid, or if they are performing work.
It's an or.
It is an or.
Yes.
All right. Any other questions? All right. So first off, I would like to thank everyone for who has been bidding us in these first few months. I know there have been plenty of projects to choose from, and thank you for finding the time to bid with Tilden-Coil. So some of the upcoming projects we have, CM multi-prime projects, new exciting project in Riverside, RUSD, has a new Casablanca Elementary School, ranging about $44 million. Moreno Valley Unified School District, Valley View High School, they have a modernization of their building A and C. And then we have a good project coming up for Cerritos Community College. It's a new student services admin building. It's estimated about $100 million. And then there's a project out in the desert, the Palm Desert Community Center renovation. Then we have some of our skilled and trained projects, lease-leaseback. Paris Unified School District, Paris Elementary School addition and alterations, that's actually out to bid right now. And then we have an upcoming project at Ontario Montclair School District, Vina Danks Middle School, Building A modernization. And there is more work coming up at Vina Danks, be coming out later in the future. San Bernardino City Unified School District has 2 projects currently. The new Cardinal Child Development Center is at San Bernardino High School. And then we also have Pacific High School. There's a new biomedical CTE building. And then you ask if, where do you find these upcoming projects? Navigate to our website, click on the contractors link there. You'll be able to find our bidding opportunities. So if you miss an invite, hit there, see what's coming up, see what may be bidding. All the important information on who to contact if you need to be invited is right within the bid opportunities link. And then down below there, you'll see our program pre-qualifications. So you'll see Mount Sac, Cerritos, and Chafee. There's a link to the CMIC Collaborate, which we touched on the last partner pro tips. And then there's a safety site safety orientation video for you for all the contractors that are going to be on site. And then finally, it's coming soon, probably the next week or two, they'll, from feedback from the first partner pro tips, is how do you get pre-qualified with Tilden-Coil? Tilden-Coil doesn't have an open pre-qualification per se, but we do find the need to be able to give you guys an avenue to connect with us. So there'll be a link there that you'll be able to type in your basic information. Once you submit that, you'll get a response from us that'll ask for a little bit more detail that will get you plugged into the right projects. You know, if you're looking for skilled and trained, or if you want to avoid those, we'll get you dialed in. That way you're getting the invites that you need and you're looking for. Any questions for that? Upcoming projects, bidding opportunities? Okay. So we'll go ahead and roll into Daniel, and he'll talk about Mount Sac and Tech and Health.
Thanks, Mario. My name's Daniel Edom. For those of you that don't know me, I'm a pre-construction manager here at Tilden-Coil. I've had the pleasure and the benefit of working with our client over at Mount San Antonio College, and typically referred to him as Mount Sac. But we've been their construction manager for quite a while. We've been doing work on campus for 10 plus years. And, earlier in the presentation today, Mario kind of shared a few upcoming projects. Keep in mind, that was only like in the next 2 months. That was like a 2-month window. But this upcoming Tech and Health project, we felt worthwhile to share with you a little bit further out because of the size and the volume of this particular project, and wanting to gain an interest to it. And so a little bit about the project. It's estimated at about approximately a $200 million job. It's about 280,000 square feet. It's a 4-story structure, all cast in place concrete. When we're completed with this job, it will be the largest instructional facility on that campus. It has a multitude of educational programs within the building. They're listed here below, between food services and division offices to air maintenance, aeronautics, nursing, radiology, mental health, their public safety program. There's a whole lot going within this building. And so there's just a lot of interest from the college and all around. So it's a really cool project. A couple of key things to keep you in mind of that you want at the forefront of your mind if you're interested in a project like this. Number one, as I mentioned before, Tilden-Coil is the construction manager. The delivery method for this project is going to be a CM multiple prime. So you will be contracted directly with the college, but Tilden-Coil will be the agent of the college, and we would be basically administering the contracts and running the construction similar to as a GC would. Pre-qualification is required. I'll touch a little bit more on a future slide here about the pre-qualification, but you must be pre-qualified. We'll touch a little bit about the OpenGov eBid portal, basically their online bidding platform. We'll touch basics on some of the community workforce agreement to make you aware of that. And then lastly here is the DVBE participation goals. The college has a DVBE participation goal. It's not a requirement that you have DVBE participation, but it is a bid requirement that you at least do a good faith effort, and there's some tracking that occurs that's required, some documentation as part of the bid process. And again, there's a lot of information here, and before I get into this slide here, just to kind of reiterate what Mario and Maria shared earlier, there's a lot of information we're sharing today, and all of this information will be available to you because there are some links and stuff in here to navigate online. All this will be shared with you at the conclusion of the presentation. So back to Tech and Health and Mount Sac. Pre-qualification. So Mount Sac's pre-qualification, it's an open enrollment all year round. So you can submit your pre-qualification any time of the year that you want. You can submit as many times as you want to your heart's content. But one thing I want to make very clear is that a pre-qualification with Mount SAC is a district pre-qualification, not a project-specific pre-qualification. So all that means is, if you're pre-qualified, you're pre-qualified for any of their projects that require a pre-qualification. The pre-qualification will be valid for 1 year from the date of your approval letter. So there is no common expiration date. It's not December 31st for everybody. It's your pre-qualification for the formal pre-qualification. It's 1 year from whatever your approval letter tells you. One thing that's very important, particularly if you're interested in the technology and health project, is that the Mount SAC's pre-qualification approvals will include limits. And what I mean by that, they are going to provide you a single and an aggregate project limit. Basically, they are telling you what size contracts they're going to allow you to bid on. And so as we get later in the presentation today, I'm going to kind of give you some anticipated values for some of the packages that are coming up for tech and health. So you'll definitely want to be aware of that as you submit your pre-qualification. So if you are interested specifically for tech and health, you're going to want to know that information so you can kind of work with the purchasing department to see if there's a way to make sure that your pre-qualification limits are where they need to be to keep you eligible for the tech and health project. There's a couple links here. The first link is the Mount SAC website purchasing page. There's a lot of information on that purchasing page. You'll be able to find the pre-qualification process, whether it's formal, informal. If you're already pre-qualified and you just want to renew, there's renewal stuff in there. There's also links to their bidding software. There's links to the CWA. There's a lot of stuff on that purchasing page. It's kind of a one-stop shop to get all your bidding interest and questions answered through the college. Now, if you have specific questions regarding the pre-qualification packet or just the pre-qualification in general, that email address there, perconstruction@mountsac.edu, that is the email you should use. That'll go to a few folks in the purchasing department, and then the appropriate person will respond to you in your inquiry. OpenGov e-Procurement portal. So Mount SAC, some of you may be familiar with bidding Mount SAC in the past. Mount SAC used to use Planet Bids. They've gone away with Planet Bids, and they're now working with OpenGov e-Procurement portal. Different user interface. Some like it better, some the same. Everybody's got different opinions on it, but ultimately the concept is the same. And what that does is it provides an electronic bid submission. That is the ultimate goal for it, and so that stays the same as it has in the past. Everything's submitted electronically. So go back, please.
All right.
No worries. So with that said, if you are interested in the tech and health project, getting pre-qualified first and early is probably priority. I anticipate for a job like this, they're probably going to get an influx of pre-qualifications as we get closer to bidding. And you don't want to be one of those ones that gets submitted with the large populace of all the pre-qual packets. It's going to take them a long time to vet through that. Given that they're valid for 1 year, my recommendation to you would be to get that pre-qualification turned in as soon as possible to start that process. And then once you've got that going, then I would focus on getting what they call subscribing. You subscribe to OpenGov. And it's pretty simple. You subscribe. It's a username and password. You throw in some company information. And then once you're in there and you're subscribed to Mount SAC projects, you can see any and all projects that are out to bid within their system. And you can also choose to follow certain projects so that any notification for individual projects you can follow and then get those notifications directly to your email. And so get pre-qualified, get subscribed with OpenGov, so that way when Tech and Health Increment 2 does come out, you guys will get that information automatically. You won't have to wait on Tilden-Coil to tell you that it's there. It'll just be automatic. Next slide, Mario. Okay, community workforce agreement. It's fairly new. It's been for a year or two or so. The Mount SAC has this community workforce agreement. I'll refer to it as the CWA. The CWA is applicable to all projects that are funded by bond measures RR or GO. In this particular case, the Technology and Health Project is. Therefore, the CWA will apply. I'm not going to get into the specifics of ins and outs of the community workforce agreement. There's a pretty long document in there what that entails. And so I just want to make sure that you guys are aware that there's a CWA. And there's a link here in that second bullet point there. It's the Mount SAC website, community workforce. And that has the actual CWA agreement between the college and the trades councils. And that outlines all the requirements of the CWA. So if you want to get a glance at that before the job comes out to bid, that's great. Otherwise, when it comes out to bid, that same document will be included in the bid documents. But it's always nice to get an early jump on looking at what that looks like for that. If you have specific questions specifically related to the CWA, I found this information on the website myself. Joe Carbajal is the community workforce coordinator for the college. He had 2 emails posted on the website there, so I've listed them here for your convenience as well. So if you have specific questions about, does it apply to this? Does it apply to that? Joe's a great guy. He'll be able to answer those questions for you. Okay, as I mentioned before, Mount SAC's a big project. We're talking about $200 million. Before I get into individual packages, what I want to also share with you is the project was approved in 2 increments, increment 1, increment 2. Increment 1, which is just demolition, grading, underground utility relocations, basically early site prep in preparation for the new construction, which is the rest of the job in increment 2. So increment 1, as you see here on this table, we've already bid increment 1, and that's already been awarded. And so want to just make that clear. So what we're focusing here is on increment 2, which is the rest of the job. And we'll go a little slower through these slides here so that we can your eyes can kind of scan some of the trades. Again, these are anticipated prime packages with anticipated values. They could change. Mario, if you go back really quick, one thing I want to just point out, I'll point out a couple of them as we go through here. For example, structural concrete. That's over 50 million. That's a very large package. So you're going to want to pay attention to that as you're going through the pre-qualification process. Next. This second slide here, it's starting to get into some of the finishes between the sheet metal, framing, acoustical, tile, painting. There's a couple of large packages in here. Glazing and aluminum, that's estimated to be close to 11 million. So you'll definitely want to be aware of that when it comes to your pre-qualification. Same thing with the framing, drywall, insulation package. That's close to 20 million for that package. You definitely want to pay attention to these as you're looking at that pre-qualification. And the last, a few more trades and the MEPs, electrical, another large package, close to 35 million. HVAC, we're close to 19 million. Plumbing, 7 million. So as you can see, there's some large individual packages. So the pre-qualification, getting that process started sooner rather than later will definitely be a help and advantage for both sides to get that going. Next up. So schedule, to kind of just share with you where we're at in the process of when this project's really going to go. As I mentioned before, increment 1's already bid. That bid in February, it just got board approved in April. We are anticipating to break ground or start construction for demolition and abatement in June, this June of 23. I want to say it's like the first week of June, give or take. And so that job is very close around the corner from starting and becoming real. Increment 2, which is probably what most of you would care about at this point, we are very close to DSA approval, and we are anticipating that project going out to bid probably midsummer, July-ish to September-ish. It's an approximation of where we think that bid period will be. That's subject to change based on actual DSA approval dates and where that lies, but it's fairly close. And then what we're targeting is a construction start or say notice to proceed for the increment 2 prime packages sometime at the beginning of the year of 24, January of 24. As that's kind of the conclusion of the data for me to share with you and download. We'll go through these next several slides rather quickly. These are just some imagery renderings of what this job looks like to kind of pique your interest and engage some of that excitement, in which you see that this is some of the aeronautics and the air maintenance. And yes, we will be having airplanes hanging from the ceiling in this project, so we're all kind of excited about that. This is their grand atrium lobby that basically ties to all floors. This is just some of the career advancement technology resource. That looks like air maintenance, I believe. And like, actually can't read that one in the back there, but again, there's a lot of stuff going on in this building here. There's manufacturing, welding, there's Health Careers Resource Center. And then this here, there's a cool skylight there is kind of looking down to the shop below. So people that aren't necessarily part of the program can look down and see what's going on. So it's a lot of glass, it's very open. So everybody can kind of see what's going on. Radiology and respiratory therapy. And that's it for the renderings. I'm not going to click on this here, but you'll have the link when we share this out with you. This is actually a YouTube video. It's a 3D fly-through of the model, both exterior and interior of the building. It's about 10 minutes long, so I'm not going to bore you all here with it. I've watched it a few times. It's really cool. Even though I've been working on this job for over a year, I still get a kick out of watching this video. So I would highly recommend, and on your free time there, to watch this video and fly through of the building. It's really exciting. And something here that wasn't on the list, but I'm going to throw it in there anyways, no matter what the rest of the team here tells me. Just a sneak peek. There are 2 other projects at Mount SAC that we're currently working on. There's a new library replacement building and a school of continuing education and instructional village. Those are both $100 million projects. They're both currently early in design, but those are both kind of parallel in their design process right now. And those are going to be coming out after Tech and Health. But I just want to kind of give you that sneak peek and share that insight with you that, getting pre-qualified for Tech and Health is, I don't want to say tip of the iceberg, but it's just one of a few large projects coming down the pipe. Any questions?
You're stunned with all the content.
This is an easy group. Easy group, no question to make it.
We're busy getting pre-qualified. All right. So what's next? Action items for you, right? You're going to receive a feedback card through your email with everybody that was in attendance today. Please fill that out. Tell us how we did. Let us know how we could do better. And then also help with any ideas for partner pro tips, any future topics. We have a couple that you sent us last time, but we'd like to see more. If you're interested in Skilled and Trained, look at Maria's links, get in touch with her, start with the next steps for that. And then, like I said, with Mount SAC, Tech and Health, if you're interested, go get pre-qualified, go get to the Mount SAC website and get started on that. Again, all the links from today's presentation will be sent along with the feedback form. If you can please get that filled out. Any last questions?
Yeah, I see one there, Mario. Marcos had a question there. Yeah, there are architects firms involved for those upcoming projects. I suppose I can share that with you. The library project is HPA Architects. It's the same design team that has designed the Tech and Health project. So they're doing the library. And then the continuing ed project, that is HGA Architects.
All right. If there's no more questions, we're going to go ahead and wrap up. We know how important, we want you to know how important you are to our success. We appreciate your partnership. Thank you for everything that you do for us, and everybody have a great day.